What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this video is really just a video for my friends and family, kind of just like a conversation. I want to talk about emergency preparedness because the world is a crazy place right now with everything that's going on in the Ukraine, Russia, China, all over the world. It's just a crazy time, right? It's a time of uncertainty, so to speak. And we'll save that topic for another video because don't believe everything you see on the media and the news and the internet, right? A lot of propaganda flying around. And again, this is not that video. What this video really is about is what I'm doing personally for emergency preparedness. So what I want to talk about is what I've done here at the house to prepare for any kind of emergency, not just World War III, but just any emergency, natural disaster, fire, earthquake, flood, whatever. Is my family going to be taken care of if something were to shut down our city or our town or our state or our country for a short period of time, maybe even a long period of time? So let's talk about what I'm doing. So when it comes to preparedness, maybe I should back up. One of the first things I did to prepare for bad times was I moved my family to a city that was more advantageous for us. We used to live in Vegas, which was in the middle of the desert. It was really hot, limited water supply, things like that. That was a kind of an Achilles heel for us in Vegas. Lake Mead, that's it. Once Lake Mead runs low, the dam runs low, that entire community down there is kind of screwed. So I moved my family up to the northern Nevada area, and I love it. We love it up here. It's cooler up here. It's greener up here. There's way more water sources up here. It's not perfect. It has its issues too, but it's better than where we were. And if you're wondering why I didn't move out of Nevada to, like, I don't know, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, someplace like that, which we absolutely love those areas, it's because of my job, right? I work for the state, so I wanted to stay with my state job. I'm almost at the retirement age. I got a few more years till I can retire. I only have to do 20 years, so I'm kind of fortunate there, and I can retire. So I had to stay in Nevada, but we moved up north, and Nevada is awesome. Love it. That was preparation number one, moving to the Reno area, because it's nicer up here. It's cooler. Like I said, it's just greener and there's a lot more water up here. The other prep that I have is this truck. Having a four-wheel drive truck is probably one of the easiest things you can do as far as having preparedness, because it's a vehicle that can get you off-road and into places and out of places fairly easy versus, say, something like this, like my Lexus ES350 with two-wheel drive. All right, that'll hold all my family too, but a four-wheel drive truck can just go a lot more places. Now we'll talk about the theory of bugging in versus bugging out, but in the event we had to leave the house for whatever reason, because sometimes you can't stay home, maybe fire, flood, chemicals, whatever, you have to get out of the house. I wanted a vehicle that can go almost anywhere. So bought the new 2022 Toyota Tundra, four-wheel drive, Crew Max. But a truck is fantastic because it can hold my whole family. It can go all kinds of crazy places. I got the 10-ply Toyo Open Country MT tires, so those are built like tanks. They're not going to pop easily, hopefully. And I can throw a lot of gear in the back of the truck. Even though that's a 5.5-foot bed, I can throw a lot of that emergency gear in here in just a matter of minutes, especially with my two boys helping and my wife helping. We can fill this thing up and just hit the road and be out of here in a matter of minutes, right? So definitely don't have any regrets buying the four-wheel drive truck. Could we use the all-wheel drive minivan? Yeah, we could, but again, it's a minivan. There's not a lot of storage. Ground clearance kind of sucks, and it's all-wheel drive, not four-wheel drive. So There's a lot of mountains and hills out here in northern Nevada. The truck is definitely the way to go. And if we really wanted to get serious, we could attach a trailer to it, carry more gear, or even a small travel trailer and all that good stuff. We'll talk about that again later. All right. So let's talk about my home preps. So as you could see, this entire wall is all of my preps. In general, I have all my grocery store stuff. The food is all there. In the middle is camping gear. And over here to the left is my ammo and gun stuff and tools. But in general, that's how it's spread out. And what happened was when I first bought this house, I had these wooden shelves that were built by the previous owner. And yeah, they were great for doing little chores, but there was no storage. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found these really rugged steel, heavy duty, almost commercial grade shelves that you can't overload these things. They're just built crazy strong. And normally you can buy these at like Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco. Just one 3-tiered shelf alone. Those are usually anywhere from $175 to $275. Just for one set, like just 3 shelves. I got 3 shelves for $250 used on Facebook. The guy was relocating from Nevada to like Alabama or something. So yeah, he gave me all 3 shelves for $250. So that's a killer deal. And I love this setup, these heavy duty shelves. It really organizes the entire garage. And here's the best part too. It got me so organized that I was able to park 3 cars in my garage. So the minivan, the Lexus, and the Toyota Tundra were all able to fit in my 3-car garage, which is very rare nowadays. I mean, how many people do you know have room for all their storage and 3 cars in the garage? It's just unheard of. All right, so let's start with the home preparedness, the bugging in gear that I have. So essentially, long story short, we just bought more of what we normally eat. So instead of having all this stuff sitting on a shelf in a grocery store, we just bought more of what we normally would eat, and we have the food and supplies sitting on the shelves in our garage. So if the grocery store doors were closed because of some, I don't know, emergency, and the city was just shut down and you had to shelter in place for 48 hours, everyone stays home, we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to go out and get anything. We have our groceries all right here. So we also expanded that to this chest freezer. As you can see, it's almost full to the top. And I told my wife over the last few months, mostly starting with 2020 when the Rona hit, I said, keep that chest full of hamburger, chicken, pork, hot dogs, bologna, whatever. Just fill it up over time. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but once it's full, you're not going to really worry about it. And you know what? It's peace of mind. That thing is full of meats, which I love, right? And then over here, since we are Filipino, we like rice. We have a lot of it. 1, 2, 3, 4 bags here. We have another pantry in the kitchen. So there's another bag of rice in the kitchen. So technically we have 5 bags of rice. Again, we go through this stuff, we eat it. It's not like it's going to sit there for years. We're going to eat it. My wife was born and raised in Hawaii, so, you know, and I lived there for 10 years. So we like spam. Spam and rice goes together. You can make all kinds of good stuff with spam and rice. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases of spam, and we're probably going to get more because her mom likes to send us spam for some reason. Even though they make spam in the mainland, she will ship spam from Hawaii. It's crazy. Spaghetti sauce, all the canned food stuff. I mean, your typical stuff. Clam chowder, raviolis, pork and beans, chili beans, black beans, beef stew, chicken noodle soup, Vienna sausages, more tomato sauce, ketchup and mustard, corn, peas, green beans, beef broth, chicken broth, Mixed fruits, coconut milk, tuna, lots and lots of tuna, and again, more beef and chicken broth, stuff like that. Also, noodles. We have chicken noodles, beef noodles, more beef noodles over there. Saimin if you're from Hawaii, or ramen noodles if you're from the mainland. But we have a couple cases of noodles. We're going to get more of that stuff too. Again, this is all stuff that we normally eat. And then up top, I actually, here's some oats. That's always nice to have. But up top, I have some emergency freeze-dried food. This stuff is nice because once you buy it, yeah, it sucks. It's like, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks for one bin. But look at the shelf life. 25 years. All you got to do is add water, and you can feed somebody 124 times. So this is nice because it's lightweight. Since it's freeze-dried, there's no liquid in it. It's lightweight. You can grab all 4 of these boxes and throw them in the back of the truck and be on your way and have a lot of food that doesn't need refrigeration. So I highly recommend stocking up on freeze-dried food. It's probably a little too late now because everybody's stocking up. But I bought these a long time ago. Look at this. I bought the MREs. These are the military grade stuff. You know, it's got moist food in it. You don't even have to cook it. It's just rip it open and eat it. You don't need to add water. But I bought these in 2011. So I've had this for a long time. Bought this in 2018. Bought this in 2020. And I just bought this in 2022. So I've had these for a while. It's nice to have emergency food, right? And then down on the bottom, I've got about, 14 cases of water. So I know that might be a little overkill having 14 cases of water, but my mentality is I want a buffer just in case something happens to the water system, right? So of course, if the call goes out, shelter in place for the weekend or for 2 weeks or for 30 days or whatever, hopefully the city water will still be running and we don't have to touch this, right? City water, the sinks are flowing, the showers are flowing, we're good. If those are compromised for whatever reason, the pumps don't pump water to our house from the city, we'll have this buffer here until I can figure out what we're going to do. So I have a family of 5, so it just makes sense that we had so much water here. Of course, you could always take water out of your water heater, or you could take water out of the upper bowl of your toilet in a pinch. It's not much, but it is technically clean water. I would still boil it or filter it. Or you could pre-plan and put water in your tub. Like if you have a big soaker tub, we have 2 big tubs in our house. You could line it with plastic and put water in there and have that as emergency water storage if you know you're going to be having issues with water before it happens. But this water is for if we don't know something bad's happening, right? Normally, most cities, you know, you have a mayor and a governor, and if something were to happen, they're going to enact some type of Department of Emergency Management system, and you'll have National Guard, Red Cross, FEMA, whatever, come and give you water and give you food in some communities. But that would mean that I have to hop into the vehicle and drive to the emergency management center to pick up the water and the food. And guess who's all going to be there at those food distribution centers? A whole bunch of people. Do you think that's a bad idea? Yeah, I don't want to be risking my safety mingling with a bunch of hungry, angry, high-tempered people that probably have weapons hidden on them. I don't want to be out there exposing myself to that. So that's why I have this, is so I don't have to go outside the house for at least 30 days. I could just stay here, listen to the radio, check the internet, and see what really is going on out there. All right. So up top, toilet paper and washcloths and stuff like that, towels. We don't have a whole lot of that because really, in the grand scheme of things, if you have to wipe your butt and you don't have any toilet paper, just use water, just like Filipinos do out in the mountains. They use water. And same thing with Arabs and Indians and a whole bunch, billions of people around the earth don't use toilet paper, believe it or not. I know Americans think that's crazy, But billions of people still to this day don't use toilet paper. They use a bidet that squirts water on their butt and cleans them, or they use their hands and a bucket of water, right? That's how Jesus did it. So I'm not worried about the toilet paper thing, but we do have toilet paper, you know, mostly for the kids. So moving on to the other shelf. Now this shelf is our camping gear / bug out gear. It's pretty much the same thing. Camping is bugging out just for recreation, right? But all this stuff here, essentially, ideally, most of it would just get thrown in the truck, in the back of the truck, and then we head out. So, but let's break this down though. So if you notice right here, I just bought this. This is a Furman 4550 gas portable generator. I bought this at Costco for $3.99, and that's a good deal for a portable gas generator. It's pretty nice. It's actually made for like RVs, and the cool thing about this is it's new in the box. Never even opened it, and if I needed to use it, I have it. Right? Don't plan on it, but at least I have it for $3.99. That's a low price point. Can you get more expensive ones? Yeah, sure. The upside to this is because I bought it at Costco, they have a fantastic return policy. If I wanted to return this 6 months from now, I could literally just bring it back and get my money back or upgrade to a better generator. I even confirmed this with 2 supervisors. I said, I want to make sure that your return policy says I can return this. And they're like, yeah, no problem. She goes, we do it all the time. They even had customers that returned generators 5 years old that were still in the box. This generator can run my whole house. So the chest freezer, the refrigerator inside, the AC unit, and the heater can all be run off of this because most of our stuff is Energy Star efficient. So I believe the refrigerator in the house, it will probably draw somewhere around 300 watts. The chest freezer, again, somewhere around 300 watts. I don't know how much the AC and heater draw, but that's nice to have. For $3.99, that's a fantastic deal. And the fact that I can return it and upgrade or get my money back is fantastic. I do plan on actually hiring an electrician to put in a transfer box on my breaker so I can plug this right into the house, so I don't have to run an extension cord to all these different appliances. It doesn't cost much. An electrician can come out and you can put a transfer switch. So essentially you just hit the switch from city power over to generator power, and the whole house will just run off of this. And this thing actually has a remote control. So for you RVers, like if you're out at a campsite and you wake up in the morning and you want to turn the heater on or turn everything on, you just hit the remote control and this thing will start on its own. You don't have to get out and put your clothes on and your slippers and pull a cord, or even come out and prime it and put the choke on and hit an electric start. You don't have to do any of that. You just hit the remote control and it starts from inside your house or inside your travel trailer. So that's really cool. I like that. All right, moving on. IceCo. So I have this dual zone chest freezer here. I'm going to do a full review on this, by the way. I've had this for a while, and I apologize to IceCo. But I'm going to be doing a full review on this. Partially, the reason why I didn't do it is because I didn't have a battery bank to run it. So what this is a dual zone portable chest freezer. So one side could be groceries, and the other side could be ice and ice cream. Or they both can be freezers, or they both can be a refrigerator. So it's kind of nice. It's got a built-in compressor in there. And to run this, you just plug it into the wall, and now you have another refrigerator, right? So this is a Jackery 1000 watts. And this powerful power bank can actually run this refrigerator for almost a week without being recharged. And of course, if you have solar panels, which I do have, see these solar panels right here? These are 100 watt each, so that's 200 watts of solar. How this works is you get to your bug out location, your campsite, your cabin, wherever you're going. You plug that into this, and you plug the solar panels into this, and then you put these out into the sunlight, and throughout the day, it constantly trickle charges this thing. So it stays topped off all day long. And at night, it'll run your refrigerator or your laptops and cell phones and batteries and all that other stuff. But yeah, that is a fantastic combination. And I also have another battery bank. This is by Blue Eddy. They sent this out to me for review as well. This is the EB55. It's a 700 watt power bank. It's a little bit smaller than the Jackery, but it's a lot more compact. And this one is nice because I can put this in the back of the truck underneath the seat, and we can run all kinds of stuff off of that. So again, solar power means that I never have to buy batteries. I don't have to buy gasoline. I don't have to do any kind of tune-ups in oil. The batteries are charged by the sun. So fantastic to have those kind of electric battery power banks. So love it. And then of course I have all my camping gear. I have it all organized in these bins that I got from Costco as well. I can go on and on about all the details, but you kind of get the point. It's all camping gear. Actually, this one's full of my hazmat and gas mask and Tyvek suits and all that stuff. I actually have some cool stuff in there. Not everybody's going to have that. I just happen to have that. So in this case here, I bought this from Harbor Freight. It's just a knockoff Pelican. I have a whole bunch of flashlights. So these are all lithium-ion rechargeable battery flashlights. Some of these are weapon lights for handguns and rifles. A lot of them are just flashlights you would wear on your hip. But look at the size of some of these. These are search and rescue lights. Really good for a campsite. But yeah, I've collected a lot of lights over the years. You got to have light at night, right? There's actually an inflatable boat in there. And some other cool stuff. Tents. So we have a treetop tent by Tent Style here. If you have 3 trees, you can put this up in the tree top. So you can go 100 feet up in the air if you wanted to with this thing, if you had the right skills to set that up. But yeah, that's kind of nice because you can be up off the ground. You can use it as a lookout point, or you can use it as a way to get away from the animals and stuff like that. But yeah, treetop tent, fantastic. Love that. The kids love playing it with it too. Keeps the morale high, right? Folding chairs. We got a Nemo folding chair. That's pretty awesome. I bought that from Melissa as a gift. Truck tent. So this tent can actually be put up in the back of the truck instead of on the ground, which is kind of nice, by Truck Tents, by Napier. All right, so I really got to show you this. This is freaking cool for bugging out and hiking and camping in general. But this is the Katadyn Hiker Pro microfilter. It's basically this little pump right here. It's a hand pump. You just pump it like that with your hand. And what you do is there's a hose that goes out the bottom here into the river. So if you have any water source, you don't have to carry the water on your back or in your vehicle. You just have to know where the water is. So if you know of a small lake, pond, stream, river, whatever, and you go to it, you drop the hose into the river, and then you connect this portion to a hose to your backpack. So this is the Gregory backpack. It has a 2-liter bladder in the back, just like a Camelback, but made by Gregory. And if you look right here, this is a little unique. It has a quick disconnect. See that? You can disconnect that. So once you connect the river to the filter and then the filter to your backpack, you could literally pump water right into your backpack. Filtered water right into your backpack. So this combination here is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And the reason why I love it is because it's super compact. I can carry it with me at all times. I can keep it in the car. I can ride a bike. I can hike with it. And I can give fresh, clean, safe water to not just me, but to my whole family. You know, I have a family of 5. They don't have to carry a bunch of water with them. We carry this and their own little backpacks or their own little bottles, and we find a river, stream, whatever, boom, boom, boom. I can give hundreds of gallons of fresh, clean water with just this setup right here. So I think this is worth every penny. It's about, I think it's like $60 or $70 online. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to buy this. But you can buy it on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. I got it at a sporting goods store at Shields here in Reno. But absolutely love this for survival. It's awesome. All right, so up top, again, more camping gear, but more importantly, I have a container of water right there. It's a 5-gallon container of fresh water just to have on hand, you know, put it in the back of the truck or at the campsite, whatever. But this, all right, so this is a Lifesaver jerry can, as you can see right there. If you don't know about these guys, Google them, look them up on YouTube. I'm telling you, this is an absolute game changer when it comes to survival. So, you need water, right? You can't go more than 3 days without water until your brain starts making bad decisions. And you're like, oh crap, I need to find some water. You're going to get dehydrated, right? In 3 days, the rule of threes, right? This allows you to bring a little bit of water. You know, you can keep it in your vehicle or at the campsite, whatever. And you'll have some water on you, on hand. It's about, what is this? I forgot, 5 gallons or something like that, which is great. But more importantly, this has a built-in filtration system. Let's see if I can show you this. It has a filtration system built in with a pump. And what you do is you can literally put water in here from any source, hopefully somewhat clean, but you don't know about the microscopic bacteria and parasites, right? You put the water in here, you pump it. It has a built-in pump, and it'll force it through that filter system and come out right here in this spigot. So you can set it up somewhere and literally filter thousands of gallons. I'll do a full review on this later, but you can filter thousands of gallons of water with this one system here by Lifesaver. And this is what a lot of the expeditions in Africa use. So they get into these remote locations in the jungles and they don't know what kind of parasites are in the water, and these people need water and they're getting sick. They'll use this to filter fresh, clean, safe water for hundreds of people. I mean, it can do lots and lots of gallons. I forgot the exact amount that it can do, but this is fantastic. As long as you can get to a water source, you can clean it. So very cool. Again, I'll put a link below if you guys want to buy one of these. Now this over here, this is kind of unique. I really want to tell you guys about this one because Melissa bought this for me for Christmas because I had mentioned it. But this is a toilet. It's a portable toilet that you would see on a boat, which makes it really practical to take absolutely anywhere because it's designed to be used on a boat. When you're on the water, you can't make it to shore and you got to go pee or poo. Pull this thing out and you can go do your business safely, cleanly right here. So let's talk about this a little bit. All right, so this is a portable toilet by Camco, as you can see right there. And how this works is, boom, there's your toilet, right? Just like you would see in your house. It's got a seat. If you want to take a pee, if you're standing up to pee anyways, you can move the seat out of the way. If you're a female, you can sit down and pee. All that good stuff, right? The upper portion, if you notice, there's two parts to this. The upper portion is where your fresh, clean water is stored. There's a cap right here. You put your garden hose right there or whatever, river water, and you just do your business like normal. Pee or poo right there. Once you're done, you open this watertight valve and everything drops to the bottom. To flush it, just push this and that'll actually flush into the dirty tank, right? Once you have everything flushed down, you close that airtight valve and all the nasty stuff is stored in a storage tank in the bottom. You don't have to worry about smells. You don't have to worry about any chemicals or anything for the most part. You can put chemicals if you want to, but you don't need to. It's completely airtight, right? And it's compact. It's relatively small, so you can put it in the back of the vehicle. It's designed to be stored in a compartment on a boat, and it's just for emergency use, right? It's not long term. I mean, you could use it long term, but you're gonna have to empty it out. What you do is you disconnect the bottom from the top. like this. So you'll take the top off the bottom, and you'll just carry this like a suitcase into any toilet. You go into a house, a gas station, an RV park, whatever. Take this cap off right here, dump the poo and the pee into the toilet, and you flush it. All right, easy peasy. And if you don't have access to a sewer system, you could always dig a hole and bury it in the hole and let the earth absorb it. But this right here, again, is also a game changer. We used our older version of this. We had another one. We used that during the Rona in 2020 when we had to go out to go get supplies and we didn't want to leave the kids home. My daughter would have to use the bathroom and nothing was open. All the gas stations and restaurants and everything, all the bathrooms were closed. So we brought this in the back of the van, and the kids didn't have to worry about using the bathroom when we were out. So I absolutely love this Camco portable toilet. These portable toilets are less than $100, or at least they were back when I got mine. And I think they're worth every penny because being able to relieve yourself cleanly in a private place, no matter where you are on earth, does a lot for your morale. It's just nice to have, especially at a campsite, you know, keeps the place clean and hygienic. So another thing that a lot of people don't talk about too much, which they should though, is communications, right? So I do have communications to talk to like-minded people if I needed to. Of course, my cell phone. I do need to upgrade my communications. I need to get some walkie-talkies, so vehicles can talk to other vehicles, or bicycles can talk to other vehicles, whatever. When we're all out and about doing our thing, scouting around, having a walkie-talkie is probably a good idea. I need to go out and buy a good set of walkie-talkies. Ham radio would be nice too, but I don't have any experience with ham radios. I probably should look into that. But yeah, when crap hits the fan, those ham guys are going to be talking to each other. So another one of my preps that I'm going to be working on is my home garden. So over here on the side of my house, I have these raised garden beds, and I want to build these up so I can grow potatoes, carrots, whatever, tomatoes and stuff like that, stuff that we normally eat. I'd like to grow my own stuff here. I already have the raised beds, so, and it already has water irrigation lines built in, the drip lines, so it would be a fairly easy setup to get this started. And I also want to put a greenhouse. I'm thinking maybe I can put a greenhouse, I don't know, maybe right here. I don't know, I'm not sure where, but I'd like to have a greenhouse, just a small one, so I can grow fruits and vegetables basically year round if possible. So I gotta learn how to do that. I saw some companies at the last Reno Expo where they sell greenhouses. You can buy cheap ones too, so that's another plan as far as my preparations go, is to grow a certain amount of our own food. All right, so let's talk about books, because when the electricity's down, the grid's down, you're at home bunkered down in your house, you might want to read some books. You can read them now too when everything is good, because you need to prepare yourself, right? So one of the first books that I ever started reading when it comes to survival was this book right here, Edible Wild Plants. And the reason why I think this book is so fantastic is because if you don't have the canned foods, the water, the filters, and all this other stuff, and you're not a hunter, you don't have guns, and you don't want to kill animals, well, guess what? This book right here will literally teach you page by page, picture by picture, because it has a lot of pictures in here, laminated pictures, on what you can walk around right outside your house up into the hills and pick and eat. And basically you can turn into a vegetarian, and you can live off literally stuff that you can pick. That's pretty awesome, right? If there's one book to throw in your backpack for survival, this is probably the book right here. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to buy this book. But yeah, Edible Wild Plants. Fantastic. Then, of course, financial books, just in good times in general. Dave Ramsey, Robert Kiyosaki. I love those guys. Good information on finances. just the mindset of being able to survive during hard times when you may have to kill somebody, who's trying to kill you. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman, I took a class, an actual class from this guy in Vegas, and a lot of police officers, a lot of soldiers and military folks take his classes. He's got a lot of good information on the survival mindset in general, doing what you have to do when your life is on the line. And then, of course, remember these from 10 years ago? Magpul Dynamics. Back in the old days, they used to put out these series of videos to help people train. I'm not a big fan of video self-teaching, but when the grid's down and you don't have nothing else to do, and maybe you just don't have any skills and you never got around to taking a class from an actual human being, videos are not a horrible way. They're not an absolutely horrible way to learn, because, I mean, a lot of people are visual learners anyways, right? So dynamic handgun, dynamic shotgun, dynamic carbine, or AR-15, right? I am a firearms instructor myself. I teach all these different platforms. So this is not really for me, but this is really just for, in general, anyone who wants to teach themselves how to use a handgun, a shotgun, and an AR-15 because they don't have access to an instructor, right? So again, not the best choice for learning guns, but still a good option if you have absolutely nothing to fall back on, right? And I have other books as well in the house, like the SAS Survival Guide and some medical books. But in general, you should have way more books than this. This is just an example of some books that I have. But books that teach you how to be an electrician, how to be a plumber, how to be a mechanic, medical books. Those are all good books to have as well. All right, so let's talk about e-bikes. So another level of emergency preparedness is having a bug out vehicle for your bug out vehicle. So what I mean by that is e-bikes are fantastic camp bikes, and you can get around the campsite. Also too, if you're bugging out, if your truck or vehicle, whatever, breaks down, you can still keep moving forward with e-bikes. So this is a good example right here. This is an Aerial Rider Grizzly, and this thing is a beast. It has a motor in the front, a motor in the back, and 2 batteries, not just 1 battery. And of course, full suspension as well. It's basically an electric moped, and this thing is awesome. It's powerful. It's got a 750 watt motor system, so it's super powerful. It goes up hills like you would not believe. I customized this a little bit with BMX handlebars and stuff like that, but you could put a longer seat on here so you can fit 2 people, because there's pegs to carry a second person, and it's powerful enough to do that. And you can even put one of those kids seats right here in the middle and carry 2 extra kids plus yourself. So that's 3 people on this bike. Perfect little bug out bike. 4-inch wide fat tires, so you can just go over snow and mud. This is an absolute beast. I love it. So imagine me and my 2 kids here, and then my wife has her own bike. She has a fat tire. This is a Himaway Cruiser fat tire bike. This thing is also a beast. Big fat tires, goes over mud and snow. It's got a powerful 750 watt motor in the back. And then my son can choose any one of these here. My teenage boy, he can either ride the 1-Up. This is the 1-Up Core 5, I believe it's called. It's like a gravel bike, hub drive in the back. And then this is an Avidar mid drive with the motor at the front pedals. So yeah, any of these bikes here would be good for him. Or you could even use something like this. This is super compact. If you don't have enough room for a bike, but you do have room for a scooter, this is a beast, man. This is a Varla Eagle 1. Dual suspension, dual motors, 1,000 watt in the front, 1,000 watt in the back. Crazy powerful. This thing will go like 40 miles per hour. It's insane. It'll break your neck if you're not paying attention. But I put off-road tires on this one. You can fold the handlebars down, throw it in the back of your truck, and if something happens, your truck gets disabled for whatever reason, you run out of gas, you could pull this thing out and literally rip down the road at 40 miles per hour, even in the backcountry in the dirt. It's pretty cool. I think it has like a 30-mile range, 20 or 30-mile range, depending on how you drive it. But yeah, having e-bikes though is, I think, an important part of emergency preparedness and bugging out, and just having fun in general. Keep the morale up, right? And the best part about e-bikes is you never have to buy gas. You can literally ride these bikes forever as long as the batteries don't fail on you. If you have a portable power bank like this Blue Eddy EB55 700 watt power bank, plug those chargers from the bikes into this and you can charge the bikes up hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. And then have solar panels out in the sun, charge this up. You have endless supply of electricity. That's the best part about e-bikes. Another thing to think about is body armor, right? So this is my wife's body armor. I have my own armor in the bedroom. This is my old police issue body armor. It has a steel plate in the middle, a trauma plate as well, which will help in case of center shots. That steel will help, as well as stab protection as well, because it's obviously a steel plate. But yeah, body armor actually is a fantastic level of protection to have. The goal is to stay alive so you can save the kids, right? We have 3 kids. You got to stay alive. Stack the chips in your favor. I know what some people were saying, oh, expired body armor doesn't work. Okay, look guys, Kevlar armor is not like milk. It doesn't expire and stop working. It expires and the company won't warranty it anymore after 5 years, but it'll still stop a bullet. How do I know? Because I tested it. When I was in Vegas, I took a bunch of old body armor out into the desert and shot it with 40 cal plus P, duty ammo. And it stopped every bullet, even though some of the vests were 10 years old. The reason why is because it depends on the condition of the armor, right? The cops that had the armor prior to them taking it out of commission were doing mostly dignitary protection type stuff, so they were in an air-conditioned building most of the time, so they didn't degrade the armor at all. It'd be different if it was like a patrol officer in 115-degree weather in Vegas, sweating on it all the time. Yeah, that kind of heat and sweat will degrade the armor, and you don't want to use that. But if it's just low-level use armor, trust me, it will stop a bullet. I've tested it. They work. Just don't spend top dollar on used armor, because obviously you don't really know the condition of that armor until it actually gets shot. But yeah, get yourself some armor. All right, so the last part of this preparedness shelf is my ammo collection. So I think everybody should have the ability to defend their family and their property and their supplies. And you need a gun to defend yourself. That's the easiest, most powerful way to defend yourself, is with a firearm. So I always condone a pistol on your hip, because you can have it on you 24 hours a day, everywhere you go. Even when you sleep, you can have a pistol on your hip. And I've consolidated most of my pistols down to 9mm, so I have a case of 9mm plus loose 9 up there in the ammo cans. A lot of 9mm. And then AR-15s. I really like the AR-15 platform. I train people on it. I have several AR-15s. They're very accurate. They can reach out to 300-400 yards, no problem, especially with an optic. So I got a case of 5.56 down there and some loose 223 up in the ammo cans as well. And then 12 gauge. I have several 12 gauge shotguns. I've got a case of double-aught buck down there. Double-aught buck is the 9 pellets that go down range all at the same time, so very devastating. As well as 12 gauge slug. I have a whole ammo can full of 12 gauge slug. Again, slug can go through sheet metal, glass, wood. It can go through a lot of stuff. So if you need to punch through a vehicle to get to a bad guy, slugs are no joke. Also, too, slugs do really well against body armor. So yeah, crazy stuff, right? Anyway, that's my collection of ammo. It's not a whole lot, but it's definitely a good start for sure. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is my overview of my emergency preparedness setup. Again, this is just what I'm doing. I'm not telling you what to do. This is just a glimpse at what I've done over the past couple years. There are people that have way bigger budgets than me and have better preps. You know, they have underground bunkers with air filtration systems to clean, you know, the air that has fallout nuclear, you know, material in the air and all that stuff. I don't have that. There's guys that have helicopters and airplanes that they can bug out with. Again, I don't have all that. You know, the boats and all that stuff. People have boats. I don't have any of that. This is just my personal emergency preparedness setup. All right. So if you guys got any kind of helpful tips from what I'm doing, hit that like button to support my channel. I appreciate it if you found it helpful. And if you have a tip, right? If you have a tip that I should work on, absolutely leave a comment below, because I know you guys know a whole lot about this more than I do. I'm not an expert. Leave a tip below and let me know what else I should do. All right, guys, take care.